Welcome to the Airedale. I'm Chloe Lewis.
And I'm Shelby Bishop.
Today we'll be taking a look at Christmas editions, PDA, and much, much more coming up on the Airedale.
Directly from the Alma High School news studio, covering news and sports from where it matters. You're watching the Airedale.
With the increasing numbers of COVID each day, the school has been talking about shutting back down and going remote. Lucas Bunn and Ethan Waits have more on the perspective of COVID school shutdown.
Alma High School staff have been discussing the topic of closing down in-school learning and going remote due to a spike in COVID cases in our area. Here's Mr. Treese with more.
The thing that's different this year, if we were to go completely, if the governor were to say tomorrow we're going to completely close school, we're a lot better prepared than we were last March because we have all the students have Chromebooks that need them. Students that do not have internet at home, we have checked out about 80 hotspots here at the high school. So anyone that did not have internet at home is available to check out a hotspot here at the library. So hopefully everyone has internet access. So if we were to close tomorrow, students that need a Chromebook have a Chromebook. Students that need an internet connection have either that or a hotspot.
Teachers, coaches, and staff are working very hard to keep AHS COVID-free. On behalf of AHS, we ask you to please wear a mask when you are on campus.
Our activities have been limited, to say the least. You know, we didn't have a musical. You know, usually the week of Thanksgiving, the musical's going full blast. People are rehearsing, building props. You know, it seemed very unusual that we did not have a musical. You know, the band was limited, the choir's limited, all the athletic events. You know, the activities. The lack of activities, I think, has been the biggest thing that we've been limited to as far as what the students can or cannot do. And, you know, and we're just trying to have school the best we can and doing the best with what's given to us each and every day.
With Airwaves Media, I'm Ethan Waits.
A veteran is a person who has long experience or experience in a particular occupation or field. A military veteran is a person who has served and is no longer serving in the military. Military veterans have served directly in combat or in war and are further defined as war veterans. Evan Shibley has more.
Whether they served in the Marines, Navy, Army, Air Force, or Coast Guard, veterans are individuals who bravely put their lives on the line for the safety of this country. People think that the military is only for people who are not educated. However, this could not be farther from the truth. The military is full of some of the most well-educated individuals ever.
The notion that everyone that I was going to come in contact with, just because it was the military, wasn't going to be that smart, and I was so wrong. So the smartest guys I've ever met in my life, I met when I was on active duty in the Navy.
That the military is highly educated, very fine-tuned skill set, extremely good at the jobs that they do, and certainly while they may not have the degrees to speak of, they have an extremely high level of education and skill set management.
Another misconception about the military is that they don't care for each other or treat each other like dirt. Military personnel actually treat each other like a tight-knit family.
The camaraderie that I shared, the love for just your fellow sailor was pretty extraordinary being on a submarine, because we took care of each other, and you know you get to know people a lot and all about them and their families when you're at sea for months at a time, especially on as small as a submarine is. So
many people around the nation have different views on the military. This means veterans have had different experiences when dealing with civilians.
I had pig's blood thrown on me when I was working at the Pentagon by some anti-war protesters.
The community takes care of us. The community truly respects us for the job that we've done, for the freedom that we've provided. And
from having to pay for a phone call to being able to send an email to having more equality in the workforce, the military has drastically changed over the past 20 years.
When I first joined the Navy, women weren't allowed on ships, and now women can join special warfare. They can do absolutely any job. They're on submarines.
The service of the U.S. Armed Forces does not go unnoticed, and we thank them for their service. This is Evan Shipley with Airways Media.
More and more students are starting to get burned out on all of the schoolwork, which in turn means more missing assignments. Now to Andrew Chronister with more.
You know, I wonder if there's an excess of students who have missing assignments.
We do have several students who have missing work now that we're getting toward the end of the semester.
Yes, I think there's a bunch of students that are missing a lot of assignments.
Yep. Well, lucky for those students, most of them are getting another chance to get caught up.
Definitely more than should. And we, teachers and counselors, administrators have been working together to identify those students who it's causing to fail and to try to get that missing work in so that we can pass classes and not have to retake them.
And there are some people with advice on the subject.
So my advice to those of you who are in this boat is just not to quit, to take some time.
To buckle down and knock out as much assignments as they can at once.
To get this stuff done so that you're not having to come back and retake a class next year or do credit recovery, and so that you stay on track for graduation and don't have to give up any electives. So keep at it, keep working. We've got 8 school days left. Let's push hard and get this missing work in.
I know, it can be overbearing to get caught up, but I have some advice. Buckle the heck down and get going. You'll find that once you get going and gain some momentum, before you know it, you're getting several assignments done in one sitting. Also, when you finish some assignments, each day write an email to your teachers that you have to catch up for, telling them that you have completed some missing assignments, and mention each assignment by name. I am Andrew Chronister with Airways Media. Thank you for watching.
Remote versus in-class learning is totally different for many students. Some find it more easily to do, virtual, then some find it challenging. Now to Stephen Miller with more.
Being a remote learner can be challenging for many students, whereas being an on-site learner has certain advantages.
What the hardest thing is that I don't have a teacher to ask questions, and you can email the teacher, but they won't always get to you like right away when you need help with an assignment. And in school, you could just raise your hand and ask the question, they could give you an answer. And then online, you have to watch a video, and sometimes you don't understand the video. So
I spoke with Shane Lays about advantages and disadvantages on remote learning.
And when we have the Google Meets with the teachers, we ask them, how can we do this? And sometimes they'll help us work through the assignment. Just email all of the assignments like on Monday instead of just emailing them throughout the week. And
some of the remote learners think it would be beneficial to them if they got all of their work in one day. My name is Stephen Miller with Airwaves Media.
The Boys and Girls Club is widely known in the U.S. for giving kids from age 5 to 18 a place to go after school to participate in activities. Zach Miller has more.
The Boys and Girls Club is a daycare that takes care of kids that have nowhere to go after school and during the summer. Let's take a look what they do for the community.
So we provide a lot of essential services for the kids. We have a food program, we do weekend meals, snacks. We also provide free counseling to families in need.
Why do kids like to go to the Boys and Girls Club?
I like to play with my friends.
I like to play outside.
I like to play with a bunch of my friends.
Mostly talk to my favorite staff and stuff, have fun.
I like to go to the gym and play with my friends. I like to spend some time with my brother who goes here and my friends from school.
Well, I get to see my friends a lot, and I like to play with them and just talk to them if they need to, and just play around and stuff like that.
It's really fun, and I just like going here.
I'm Zachary Miller from Airways Media.
PDA, public display of affection. This has become a big issue here at AHS. Some are being more respectful about it, and some others have not been. Zachary Millsap and Cooper McIntyre have more.
The public display of affection, or better known as PDA, is a problem around Alma High School. Here's Mr. Reeves with his thoughts on PDA.
Here's the thing about PDA is we don't want it going on here at the high school. You know, holding hands is different than hugging and kissing in the hallways. We don't want that. At the start of the school year, we didn't even want holding hands. Now, we're not saying anything about holding hands now. Kind of let that go. But as far as hugging and kissing, that's a no-go. That's a no-go in a non-COVID year also. Here's the thing about if I enter another person's school building and I see people hugging and kissing, that's unprofessional, and it is not a good look on that school. That's not the kind of look that we're wanting here with Alma High School. When people enter our building, we want them to know that this is a place where high levels of learning and teaching take place. And my conversation often with kids is that, are you doing that on your couch at home in front of your parents? And if they are, that's fine. Keep doing it there. We don't like it here. Most of the time it's no, my parents won't let me do it there. Then no, we're not doing it here either. It's just, it doesn't fit with this school environment, and so we don't want it.
This is Zach Millsap with Airwaves Media.
99716. Each student have been given their own lunch number, but schools have made it more efficient to give them school IDs. Shooter Owens has more.
School IDs at Alma High School are the big topic right now with a lot of people, including students and staff. Some people have many opinions on them. School IDs are for the safety of students and staff here at Alma High School.
One of the things we thought about was in the cafeteria, students touching the keypad, putting their number in. Student after student after student coming along and doing the very same thing that 1 or 2 or 10 or 50 did right in front of them. Really big opportunity for transmitting COVID-19 from one person to another. That's where we started thinking better. So, a little research, we discovered that our computer system would accommodate scanners. So we got the scanners that would do the same thing as the keypads. We got the scanners, and then of course you had to have something to scan. So that we had cards printed, every student's picture and name on it, along with a barcode that represents their student number. And so the other, of course, everybody knows their number. It's not hard remembering your number. But the card will also scan at the library because it's the same number, and there may be other things we need to do with it that we hadn't even thought of yet in the future, where students' ID number is something that we use for something.
As we are currently in. If it wasn't for the COVID-19, we wouldn't have these.
It was COVID-19 that caused us to even think about it in the first place. I'm not saying we wouldn't have done it someday, but we wouldn't be doing that right now. This was strictly for the purpose of keeping students from having to touch the keypad one after another. That was the whole reason for it.
I'm Shooter Owens from Airwaves Media.
Seniors are preparing for the big day they walk up to get their diplomas they have worked for their whole lives. Shelby Bishop has more on this subject.
I talked with Ms. Moore, a senior advisor and counselor, about our 2021 seniors and how they're preparing for the future ahead of them.
I think most of our seniors at this point have started thinking about what they want life to be after graduation, whether that's college training school, whether that's work, whether that is going into the military. So I think a lot of them are at least starting to make some plans for what that looks like and taking steps to give themselves options. I don't know that everybody has completely decided what they're wanting to do, but again, they're just trying to figure out what their options are and get to a place where they can make a decision about what they want to do.
What steps have seniors made so far towards the big day?
Obviously we've ordered caps and gowns, and we're taking some of those steps for the logistics of graduation at this point in time, and finishing up classes and credits, and just trying to make sure that everything's on track. But again, there's just making plans, figuring it out, and really I think it's become real for a lot of seniors at this point that this really is their last year, and we're going to have to figure out what life looks like after this. And for a lot of them, I think it's been a little scary, but a lot I think are very excited as well about the opportunities coming forward.
There are a total of 250 students in the graduating class this year. There is a higher percentage of seniors who choose to further their education rather than going right into the workforce.
Usually we have 75 to 80% of our students who either go to a 2-year or a 4-year school or some sort of trade school. And I consider all of that continuing your education, getting any sort of training after high school. So it's a pretty large number of students that we have that do pursue some sort of training, and I don't anticipate this year being any different than that. I think we're probably about the same.
With graduation right around the corner, the seniors want to know what it will look like. The set date for the class of 2021's graduation is May 15th of 2021.
I don't think we'll have to postpone it until July like we did last year, but I imagine all of the regulations and probably maybe have to do it at the football field again, instead of in the arena with social distancing. I figure masks and spread apart and all of those things. But that's how I'm visualizing it at this point, just because of what the regulations we have on a day-to-day basis at school. But I am hoping that maybe it'll be less regulations, but if nothing, I'm hoping that if nothing else, I'm hoping that by May we'll be able to do graduation in a normal timeline, just with our safe practices.
From Airwaves Media, this has been Shelby Bishop.
Kahoot is a fun game to quiz your friends and fellow students for those semester tests you have coming up. Evan Sanderson and Joshua Wagley have more.
Kahoot is an online website for teachers to help their students review for fun. Teachers set it up like a game show by putting questions on the board, and people race to answer the questions for points. The top 3 people with the most points win the game.
I think Kahoot adds an element of competition for students, which encourages them to answer the questions and compete with other students. And a little bit of competition always helps students do better because they want to end up on top.
It has 2 modes, team and individual. The most used mode is individual.
I've always used the individual setting. I do use the team setting on Quizlet, which is similar to Kahoot, but I think Kahoot is good as an individual practice. I think Kahoot helps better with the review because I think students have to have the foundation and the information in order to answer questions.
I myself believe Kahoot is more of an individual game than a team game because it is more competitive. It is fun for both teachers and students.
The days that we use Kahoot in the classroom, I have a lot more fun too because I think it's fun to watch students enjoy the review.
Reporting for Airwaves Media, I'm Joshua Lagley.
Everyone has their own Christmas traditions, whether it's opening one gift on Christmas Eve or leaving cookies and milk for Santa. Justice Robertson has more.
Many different people have a wide variety of things to do during the holidays. This includes everything from getting together with friends and family and listening to their favorite songs.
My favorite thing to do on Christmas would have to be spending time with my nieces and nephews. It's been a joy seeing them get to enjoy Christmas and then getting to spend time with family.
My favorite thing to do is just all get together, which I don't know how that's going to look this year with COVID, but we like to all get together and we usually have a family lunch, and so my mom that lives up in Fayetteville comes down and my dad comes over and just the whole family gets together and we kind of open up presents and just visit.
As you can see, there are so many different traditions people have to celebrate the holidays.
Favorite song would probably have to be Silent Night, just because I've learned to sing it in multiple languages in college.
My favorite dessert is my grandma's pecan pie.
Favorite game would have to be, we might have done musical chairs whenever I was younger, and then also playing Chutes and Ladders. So that's been like a tradition in my family.
Well, it's not exactly on Christmas Day, but we like to go walk around and see the lights up in Fayetteville at the square, so that's what we like to do.
My traditions are we still do Santa for the little ones, and then we always start with opening stockings first, and then we make sure that we sort all the presents, making sure everyone gets what they have. We open them up, be respectful of one another, and then afterwards we always have like a Christmas lunch or a late Christmas lunch and then a Christmas dinner as well.
With Airwaves Media, this is Justice Robertson, wishing you a happy holidays.
To add more to everyone's favorite Christmas traditions, Cooper McIntyre and Zach Millsap have more.
Christmas is right around the corner, and everyone has a Christmas tradition or some kind of schedule for Christmas. Here are some students with their Christmas holiday traditions.
We make a big dinner and a big breakfast usually. Watch a football game, the basketball game if it's on. We leave presents till the evening. I don't know why, but I don't get that. They don't let us sleep in either. We have to get up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. They don't let us sleep in, which I hate. That's the one thing I hate about Christmas. But.
And we all go off and do our own thing afterwards. But this year it's going to be a little different because we're going to our grandpa's house this year. So that when we get up in the morning, we got to open our presents in the morning and stuff. Then we got to get chores done. Then we got to get everything ready, and then we got to go to my grandpa's house to eat dinner.
I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This is Zach Millsap with Airways Media.
Bobby Taylor took an inside look on students and staff and their favorite Christmas genres.
It's becoming closer to Christmas season, and many people are getting their music playlists together to start playing at parties, while driving or chilling. There are many different genres that people like to listen to at this time of year, but one of the main ones the students at Alma High School listen to is classical. Some of the other genres students listen to is trap, country, and hip hop. A White Christmas is the best single selling of all time globally, according to Guinness World Records. Notice the lack of Christmas in the last sentence. Yep, that's right. Out of every released song ever, White Christmas sold the most copies. For Airways Media, I'm Bobby Taylor. Holly joining off for the season.
Now over to Zach Miller with sports.
Thanks, ladies. Alma High School has many different clubs, including our swim team. Michael Farrell has an in-depth look at what our swim team has been up to.
With the global pandemic creating a roadblock in the normal swimming routine, the AHS swim team is still practicing and going to swim meets. Here is swim sponsor Jennifer Pitts with more.
There's a limited number of participants at a meet this year, so we have to sign up for the 5A meets, and we can only go to 2. Plus, we'll go to regional and state, but we could only sign up for 2, and only the swimmers and the coach can attend. Practice has been fine. They've had to adjust just a little bit, so there's not as many people at the pool at one time, but it's not been a big adjustment for the high school. Especially during a meet, the heats are definitely reduced because there's a less number of kids there, but as far as like spacing in between the lanes, they're not doing that as far as I know.
Okay. It looks like the overall day-to-day of the swim team is mostly unaffected, but during competition, there's a lot more to take notice of, including the lack of parental involvement. This has been Michael Farrell with Airways Media, signing off.
Alongside our swim team is our bowling team, and Cameron Parvin and Xander Polito with more.
Have you ever thought about joining bowling? We asked Carol Medlock about joining.
Bowling is a good form of exercise. A lot of people think about it as just a hobby or a pastime, but it is a sport, and it's one that you can play on into adulthood. So it's a good skill to learn.
Bowling is a sport everyone likes to play, and people going bowling just to have fun too. But are there different ways to bowl?
There are some different forms. Some people bowl one-handed. I think the craze right now is two-handed bowling and putting some spin on the ball. So I definitely see some different strategies out there.
They have been practicing bowling and they are getting ready for conferences.
Yes, there is a conference and a regional tournament, and this is my first year to coach, but my understanding is that last year we did have a student make it to the state bowling tournament, and that's a pretty big accomplishment. Our first bowling match is the first week in December. So we've been practicing for a little while and we're getting ready for that first match.
For Airwaves Media, I'm Cameron. Thank you.
Brianna Lexton took a closer look at what our Alma cheer team has been up to this competition season.
Alma Cheer has been working on their cheer routine since August and did a competition over Thanksgiving break. Here's Coach Law with how she feels.
I always get very nervous for competitions. Every time you just continue to get nervous, but these girls have worked so hard and I knew that they were fully prepared, so that helped ease my mind a little bit.
Karis Hutchison talks about how nervous she was and how she felt during the competition.
I was really nervous. It was really exciting to actually get to compete in person this year because that was something that we didn't know was going to be able to happen or not because of COVID. So even though it was really exciting, it was still super nerve-wracking.
The cheer team feels everything like nervousness, happiness, and sadness.
Yes, that was really exciting. It was really rewarding. I think everyone on the team was really nervous, but we were also confident in our routine and that we had prepared well enough, so it was really nice to come out on top.
This is Brianna with Airways Media.
Now to this week's social media spotlight, brought to you by our Airways anchors.
This week's edition of the Airedale.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and follow all of our social media at Airways Media.
And in the wise words of T-Mac,
go Airedales.